Welcome back, folks. In the last days, I've decided to put aside the project of the speedrun for some time at least, because I'm not strong enough to do that. But instead, we have a new series called Nobody Saw This Coming, and it's gonna be like each episode is gonna be based on something different. Today's episode is on wrong calculations. I'm gonna show you two examples of my games, and let's jump into the game. So first one, I'm white. Opening doesn't matter that much. Blah blah blah. Okay, we reached this position. So black is better. But why is that? I mean, black king is certainly not safe. But pieces have better prospect in the future. For example, this trade is gonna be good for black. Also, the rook is gonna join the party on the f file. So I decided now it's the moment to go aggressive. So in this position, I decided to strike immediately with queen h5. And my calculation is, okay, whether now or later, like in a couple moves, is gonna take this bishop. For example, queen h5, like takes, takes, takes. I thought, like, all I had, knight e4, because after takes, takes, my idea was, his king is like has nothing to guard him, so my attack is pretty straightforward, and the only way is possible, the only way to defend is now rook f7, but then I have bishop take h7, and after rook takes I have this, check, king g7, I take the bishop, and now I am better, as you can see. So I thought, okay, I'm a genius. And all of this happens, like exactly in this move order. Queen h5, knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, queen takes b2, I sack my knight, I sack my bishop, I don't really sack my bishop, I just sack my knight, and now I sack my bishop. And the truth is, of course he doesn't have to move his king, because there is boop, bishop f8, and I'm completely lost. Yeah, I'm down to bishops. What to do? This hurts. Like, even this doesn't work at all. Just covers with the rook, so now I just have to resign. And instead I played a couple more moves. We trade some pieces, and then I have absolutely no hope. So yeah. Okay, this one was nice, but this one, okay, opening with a queen's gambit, declined. Okay, this is the position. So opponent has just played c5 to strike in the center, and now I have a choice. This calculation was started here, like d5 takes, knight takes, bishop takes this pawn undefended, and now I can move the rook, but that day I was possessed by Mikhail Tal spirit, so he's a former world chess champion and also one of the like most creative players ever. And now I thought, okay, what if instead of defending the rook, like just moving to b1, what if in that position play knight e7 check? And now I know it's hard to visualize, but that's what I did in the game. And these things can go wrong like pretty easy. Especially because when you sack a piece, like the most difficult part is not even like it's not sacking the piece, but it's calculating what the opponent is gonna do if they refuse to take your sacrifice. I just lost the game. What is so special with this move? The knight is under attack. I mean, first of all, it's check, so you have to react. The knight can be taken with the rook or with the queen. With the rook, like if you take with the rook, in that position, the d file is open. So the queen is hanging. And it's just gonna be queen takes queen. So you have to take with the queen. And now let's keep visualizing. Bishop takes b2, knight e7, queen takes. In that position, I have check, discovered attack on the queen, like on the e file. So we have king takes, I take the queen, opponent takes back, and then I have clutch move, queen c2, checking the queen and picking up the bishop, and at the end of the day I'm up material, I won the queen, and life is good. But this calculation was too good to be true. And let's start seeing what happens. So, e takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes b2. Like everything is going according to the plans. And now I play knight e7. That's not the right move. But usually when you play these kind of impossible moves, whether it's a brilliancy or it's a blunder, and the fact that this move is just an inaccuracy means that there are some, even if it's not perfect, there are some risks involved for the opponent. So now we can see better. Okay, rook takes, hangs the queen. So after queen takes, the idea was check, takes, and now check. And I'm up a queen for rook and bishop. And actually computer says this position is not even winning for white, but it's equal. But I mean, I have the queen, you have to coordinate your pieces better. If I trade maybe one rook and one minor piece, I'm gonna be fine. Instead, opponent shocks me completely and plays king f8 because nothing is threatened here. Like I could take the bishop, but that makes no sense. My rook is also hanging, like this is hanging. And so now pandemonium starts. I panicked and I play knight c6. The idea is takes, 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 it's a fork, this one. And in this position, I have to be honest, I didn't see that I was threatening mate. And the rook is hanging. And apparently this position is not like I'm worse. But only after one particular move. So my calculation was that. And we went into that line again. We have a queen trade. He takes the knight. I take the pawn. Check. And I take the rook back. And we have this position. So, I mean, this is mate. And the only way to cover it is whether to move your bishop, but then you lose the rook. So it's not easy. The only move that chess.com considers a brilliancy is knight c7. Defends the rook, like you win an exchange, but this position apparently black is completely winning. And if you ask me why, I have absolutely no idea. So opponent blunders. Plays bishop e6. Now there is no mate, but I just pick up the rook. And see, even if the first calculation was wrong, and then I panicked and I just sacked a piece, like, it worked. Opponent takes the pawn, bring my bishop back, a little dance. Now I tried one last trick because I think it was a time scramble. So in this position I played knight c4. Obviously the threat is mate. But in this position I just straight up hang a bishop. Yeah, when you spend the whole time calculating so many stuff, so many things, then one mover is gonna happen. And it happened. And it's kind of a shame, but that's also in the nature of online chess. Yeah. And this was back in the time when I was more than 2000. Now I like dropped 100 points for no reason. So I'm trying to climb back. Anyway, see you on the next episode and goodbye.